What's up, everybody? Joey Bash just released a new album, Lonely at the Top, and well, I was pretty excited for it. He kind of released it on a whim, at least to me. Like I know that he released the single Dark Aura, and then released the album. Because my girlfriend was telling me that like, hey, Joey just dropped a single, and I didn't realize that he was actually releasing an album until I saw his Instagram post. So I was kind of hyped in the short amount of time that I knew that this album was gonna drop. And I kind of like the cover art to this because it kind of looks like Invincible. I don't know if that was intended or not, but it does. And Invincible is a pretty good show. But this album runs at about 40 minutes. It's like 39 and a half minutes long with 11 tracks. So it's short, but it's filled with some spoiler, some pretty good tracks on here. Starting off with Dark Aura first. Obviously, like I said, this was released a few days before the album to kind of tease it, and it's really good. I think this is a really good track to tease the album with, because this has an amazing sample on. I don't know what it is, but it fucks. And his flow is just so good, and he kind of switches it up. Like in the first half, he's a little bit slower, and then in the second half, he picks up his pace a little bit and starts kind of just really going into it. And I think that this is just a really good way to start off the album. Then next we have Swank White featuring West Side Gun, and I'm always a little skeptical of a West Side Gun feature because I'm just not a big fan of him. But the song itself, I love the bass on this beat. It adds a lot to it, and I think that is kind of the meat and potatoes of this. And it's a very jazzy kind of song because of that. And I would say this is more of a jazz rap song here. But per usual, Joey be spitting on this. One of the lines that stuck out to me was, "I'm solid as a cinder block," which isn't that creative, but it makes me laugh a lot. And surprisingly, West Side Gun sounds really good on this track. Like his style of rapping just works really well on the beat that Joey has here, and he actually has a really good verse that adds to the song. And then next is Superfly featuring Bree Steves, and this has like a really weird beat. Like it's a bit electronic, if that makes sense, like an electronic rap beat. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it, to be completely honest. And I don't think that Bree Steves sounds too great on this track either. The only highlight of this song for me is Joey's second verse. I don't think his first verse is that great, but the second one I think is actually really good. But the feature just kind of ruins it for me in the beat I'm just not into. So I think that this is unfortunately a bad song on the album, at least for me. And then we have High Roller featuring ASAP Ferg and Kel's Too Busy. I really like the sample on this song a lot, and Kel's Too Busy actually sounds like pretty good on this. Joey, per use, he's sounding good on it. He has a really good verse, and like it had me like bobbing my head to his flow. And he has this really good line where he goes, "My vision is insightful," and then he says something else that kind of rhymes with insightful. But that's just kind of the part that I picked off from that. And Ferg, I think, can be a very hit or miss artist. I like some of his verses and I hate others, but I think that his verse here adds a lot, and I think that both features here add a lot, and I think that actually, surprisingly, ASAP Ferg's verse is kind of the highlight of this song. I think he has like the best part on this, and I think that it's worth listening to this for that Ferg verse. Next is Ready to Love featuring Ty Dolla Sign, and this just sounds like a song Ty Dolla Sign would be on, if that makes sense. It's a little R&B, and he puts Ty Dolla Sign on the hook of the song, and he just sounds really good on it. I'm also very skeptical of Ty Dolla Sign because I'm not a big fan of a lot of his songs, but I think that he works unbelievably well on this, and Joey has two really good verses on this, and the beat is just simple, but it works so well for Joey's just like flow and style that he's putting on this. And I'm not a big Ty Dolla Sign fan, as you see, so it's a big compliment for me saying that he sounds really good on this hook. And then we have BK's Finest featuring Rum Streets, Kai Cash, and CJ Fly. And this feels like one of the more boom bap songs on the album, kind of like similar to some of his older stuff in my opinion. I love this beat a lot, and the acoustic guitar in the background makes a really big difference. Or I actually believe that this is a harp, and I forgot that I should have changed that to a harp over acoustic guitar. Definitely a harp, I believe that's besides the point. It gives it a good vibe along with the drums. It's such a nice beat to listen to. And the features, although I don't know any of them, so I can't pick out which one did which first. I think that they all added their own uniqueness to this track, and they give it some meat and potatoes, which is nice. And I really like the DJ rewind effect on this track for that one of the features I kind of used on their verse. This is a really good song. I think this is in the top, dare I say, 3, maybe top 5 on this album. Then we have Underwater. Joey mentions Mos Def on this song, which I think is kind of cool because I know Mos Def. Not personally, but I know some of his songs and some of his features. But this beat is very different than everything else. Well, not really, but it's a lot more laid back, it's a lot more chill, it's a lot more slow than everything else, but it is different to what Joey is doing. He's doing quite the opposite. He's rapping pretty fast on this, and it works for me. If you listen to my Supreme Clientele review, you're gonna know that was kind of my problem with him. But I think that Joey does it just in such a way that it complements what he's doing here. Like the beat being slow and him rapping fast complement each other, and I think that's really good. And I like on the hook where he's like breathing really heavily and almost like gasping for air when they're like mentioning underwater, and this is a much deeper song from him, and I think that this is also possibly top 3, top 5 on this album for me. And then we have 3 Feet Away. I like the beat a little bit. I don't really like what Joey's doing with his voice, though. It just sounds kind of weird artistic choice to do that. The hook is a little corny to me, and he has some verses that are a little corny, but I really do like the verse where he goes, "My mind is like a browser, too many tabs open," because that's an unbelievably relatable like line right there. I think everybody can relate to that in some shape or form. I wish I liked this song better. Perchance, this song could grow on me, but this is the only other song on this album that I really don't like that much. And then next we have Speeding Through the Rain. I like whatever instrument is on this beat. I believe it is a flute, but I'm not sure. But I think it adds a lot of depth to this beat for me, and I like the effect of him doubling his voice. I think it sounds really cool, and it sounds almost demonic in a way, which kind of fits the theme of his first verse. And I like the line where he goes, "Put the past in the GPS." This is just a chill song. It's pretty good. And then we have Still featuring Absol and Rhapsody. I like the piano on this beat, and the piano is kind of like the main focus of the beat, but the drums I think really bring it together. I think the random 808s are cool, but I don't think they were really needed that much. I like the hook a lot, but it's just an okay verse from Absol. I really wasn't impressed. I think Joey and Rhapsody are the bigger highlights from this song, but I was excited to see Absol, so I was a little disappointed that he didn't really have that great of a verse on this. And finally we have the self-title Lonely at the Top, and one of my biggest pet peeves with self-titles are that they're usually bad, they're not good, but this breaks that stereotype that I have become of self-titles, I feel like, and this song is really good. I love the jazzy sample with the drums. It is just such a pleasant beat to listen to, and Joey is just flow, and his lyrics and his verses are just so good on this album that it makes you want to listen to this song so much. And I think that this song has the best storytelling on the album as a whole. I mean, what an amazing self-title, and I'm so glad that it could break the stereotypes of having a bad self-title on the album. So I like this album a lot. Like, I think all of the songs are fun and interesting to listen to. Well, not all of them are that fun, but I think they're all interesting to a degree to listen to. I think that Joey has a lot of interesting lines that you can take the time to dig through and kind of put some meaning to it. And he obviously has put a lot of meaning into each of the songs, which I think is cool. The production is really great, and his feature choices, for the most part, were amazing and phenomenal because they added a ton to the songs that they were on. And this didn't completely feel like a boom bap, which is what I feel like Joey kind of usually does from what I listen to. And this felt more jazzy, more R&B, and I think it sounded amazing. And I think that he should continue to do these kind of jazz rap, R&B kind of rap albums because I think that this sounded really good. Um, and for my rating, I am taking into account that I didn't really like two of the songs on here. So it is 9 for 11, and don't you dare make any jokes. It's not funny. It's not funny. But because of that, I think I gotta give it a 7.5 out of 10 because two songs on the album that I don't like isn't great. And maybe this could change in the future when I listen to them, or maybe I'll like those songs better. But for now, 7.5. And you know what? I could maybe say an 8. You know what? I'm changing this to an 8 out of 10 right now. I think this is an 8 out of 10 album, and I'm going to put my foot down. Even though those two songs are bad, I think the rest are good enough to carry this to an 8. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching the whole video and listening to me like ramble about some album that I like. If you like the video, maybe leave a like and maybe subscribe if you want to see more reviews. And I've got a ton of other reviews from albums that have come out this year because I've just started making reviews this year. So but that's besides the point. Maybe leave a little comment if you agree or disagree with what I'm talking about. Do you think this album is good? And you think I don't think it's good enough? Do you think it's bad and that I should be giving this a lower rating? Leave a comment with your thoughts on the album, and stay stinky. I won't be smelling you, but I'm sure someone else will be. And bye bye. I'll see you in the next review.